Hello everybody, welcome to your Language Teaching and Learning channel. My name is Santiago, and last week we finished talking about classroom research or action research. And in reality you could never really stop talking about it because there's always something else related to it. And these are things that we have already learned from our own experience, right? And also based on some research that was done from Gardner about the multiple intelligences, right? Now these are things that we kind of already knew in the classroom, we just didn't have a name for it. And of course we weren't researchers, so we couldn't come up with what Gardner came up with. But we could have done some rough draft about it, because we knew that our students had different ways of learning, and some had different skills and everything else. And basically what he is doing is just summarizing and supporting what we had been doing in the classroom. And this is something that we should take into account too, right? Our students, when they're learning, they learn in different ways. They should be aware of these intelligences, right? And as for us, of course, when we are doing our planning, when we are teaching, we should also take those differences into account and make sure that whatever we're doing, we are reaching as many of our students as possible, independently of where they lie according to the multiple intelligences, right? And of course, we should guide them and urge them to do what we mentioned in the last couple of videos, right? Experiment and see which way it works better for you. That way you will become a better learner and a more efficient learner. And as I mentioned, in our case, definitely try and plan in order to reach as many students as possible, right? And also, as with everything else, this action research doesn't stand alone. There are like multiple intelligences and everything else. Everything comes together in the classroom, right? So one of the other things that we need to talk about is, of course, observation and classroom observation, right? So this will be the next topic that we will be covering, but we will probably start in the anniversary of the channel here, which is close, how time flies, in April. In the next couple of weeks, I will most likely be sharing with you what I'm doing with the teachers that I'm working with. And we are talking about a certain international examination that they need to do as a requirement for the Ministry of Education here in the country. So I am recording parts of the tips and suggestions that they need to use in order to succeed in this particular exam. However, because it is an international examination, the tips and suggestions can be applied for any examination and also for the classroom. So I will most likely be sharing that with you beginning next week, and then later on we will start talking about observations and self-observations and peer observations in the classroom as a way to help us improve the way that we are teaching. And as I said, all this is tied with intelligences and action research and the next topic, observations. I would like to thank you very much for having joined me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.